What's up, guys? I had a thought that I wanted to share. So, a few days ago, I got into this conversation with my son, and we were talking about Christmas and what that holiday means, what's it a celebration of. And it was a fairly drawn out conversation, and my son's 9. He was asking some questions that required some pretty complex or comprehensive answers. And I gave it my best shot, but there were a couple of junctures along the way where I ran into this obstacle. It was like a brick wall, and I think ultimately I made it through. I rammed the wall. I saw the wall. Maybe I took it as a challenge in the moment, but I ran through it. And that wall was that there have been a series of conversations that I've had over the years, and they're conversations with people that I look up to. Certain times I've seen them as role models. I've always learned a lot from them. But they were on the topic of Christmas, whether or not it ought to be included as a Christian celebration, that whole thing. And I pushed back pretty hard in the moment, but this was actually the first time where, with my kids, I was going to have to draw a line. Now, do I draw the line in the place that it's been defined for me, or do I determine a different line? And in that moment, I drew a very, very hard line in a very specific spot. And that line essentially was, here's why we celebrate Christmas. Here's why it's okay to celebrate Christmas. And here is the irrational defense of why it's okay to celebrate Christmas. I drew that line super hard, but I became aware that in drawing that line, it was pretty thoroughly against or in opposition of or contrary to the lines that those people who I've had conversations with are like that, where they had drawn that line. Oh, and I super didn't care. I was all the more firm in the line that I had drawn upon that realization. And one of the components that I thought about, that ran through my mind, was it's so dependent on attitude. The lines we draw, I think, are wildly dependent on attitude, because as I look back at those conversations with those people, so many of them, they expressed to me this line that they had drawn, but the attitude that went along with it was, it was weird. The attitude corrupted the opportunity for something better and significant and joyful to come out of it. And that was it. And I think that it's such an interesting contemplation, or an opportunity for introspection, to look at those moments where you're in a position to draw a line. You need to gauge your attitude. You need to examine your attitude, because it's astounding how dependent the outcome of that circumstance is and the attitude that you go into it with, which is all the more reason for you guys to be examining your attitude outside of those situations, because you will have the opportunity to train yourself, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. You'll have the opportunity to train yourself, and it's going to determine in those moments the attitude with which you present your heart, your views, your beliefs. And it's not only going to shape the conversation with them and how they hear you, it's going to shape your end of it, how you listen and how you love. It matters wildly. So, take that for what you will. comment down below if you have thoughts or feelings on that topic. And I will see you again soon.